Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's having a great day and that you're in good health. That's the most important thing. In case you don't know me yet, my name is Freya Casey. I am a professional singer and vocal coach. I was a professional opera singer, and actually I then pivoted to not just do opera anymore, but sang with a lot of party bands and started to belt out high. I love musical theater. I actually founded a musical theater company in the city that is close to me, and it's still running. I'm not doing it anymore. I gave it to someone else to run, and it's all still running. So I've been singing and performing and teaching all kinds of different genres. I very much enjoy teaching. I always had this knack for teaching beside even way before I became a professional singer. I always loved teaching, and now combining the teaching and my knowledge about singing and my experience to help singers from all over the world to get better. Now, here's my thing. Not only do I want everyone to improve their voice, which of course we always want to work on, but I also want you to understand vocal health and to do everything in a way that makes you a well-rounded artist that can continue to sing for many years to come. It doesn't even matter whether you're 20 or 10 or 85. You still want to have a good voice that is working at its best until the day you die, which hopefully is many years from now. But I just have seen so many singers, even wonderful singers out there, who have run into a lot of trouble because they didn't really have guidance from the outside. And I just recently had a comment below one of my short videos where I said, everyone needs a vocal coach. Now, and that person commented, not everyone needs to get a life. That was kind of a hateful comment, but the truth is it's true. Not everyone needs a vocal coach, but everyone who wants to avoid damage, potential damage, and everyone who wants to make faster progress really should work with a vocal coach. It doesn't mean you need one all the time, but having a checkup every once in a while to make sure you're not getting into bad habits, which is so easy to get into bad habits. I mean, just me watching myself all the time, I realize I notice a lot of things. So I kind of am my own teacher sometimes, and I have invested a lot of money into having coaching with some of the best singers in the world. You know, in the opera world, I've worked with some amazing singers who had careers, like big time careers. And I feel like that always was the most valuable information, to actually work with someone who has experienced it. Not just someone who can say, well, this is how the voice works, but someone who knows both how the voice works and also someone who has been executing it. Hi, Kathy. Hi, tree fan. I love that. I'm a tree fan. I love nature. Hi, Celia. Oh, you've been putting out such lovely posts on Instagram. I love what you put out there. So full of love. So today I wanted to just be here and try something. This is just a general Q&A. There is the chance, and below the video in the description box, you will see a link. That link will lead you to a page where you can fill out just a few pieces of information. And if you fill that out, I can then send you the link to join me live right here on video. And then we can actually talk and everyone can watch, because the thing is, everyone always asks me questions in the chat. And something, for example, like when I sing the high pitch, I always get very tense and my voice is strained. I feel like it's always kind of rough and raspy. It's like a doctor without seeing you, or in this case, without hearing you. It's really hard to make to diagnose the problem. Hearing you, even just for a few seconds, will make a world of difference. So that's what I'm doing here. There is the link below this video, and probably we're going to do this not just today, but we're going to do it again in the future. But there is a link. If you click on this, fill out that little, your email, your phone number. These are just some pieces of information I would like to have. So I don't want anyone randomly just to get on the call with me. I just want to make sure it's someone who's, we don't want like bots to get in here. We want a legit person, and that's why I'm asking for the information. So click on that link if you want to join me live. Well, until then, you can go ahead and ask questions in the chat. And sometimes maybe you want to start with a chat and then something just froze up. You want to start with asking in the chat, and then maybe we can hop on an actual question. Lincolnshire, UK. Hi, John. Nice to have you here. Oh, thank you so much. I always try to make everything, explain it in simple terms to where anyone can understand it. Okay. Let me just say one more thing, one plug, while we're waiting on questions here. If you want to fast track your progress, but maybe you either don't have the time to see a vocal coach, or you don't really have one. Maybe you live in an area where you can find anyone, or maybe you're in a remote area, or maybe your job doesn't permit you, like because of time constraints. There is something online that is more than just a course with videos. And that is my online singing school. In that online singing school, besides having access to more than 200 course videos, which of course is valuable, but we all know there are tons of courses out there and there's tons of information out there. But I know what everyone truly needs is personalized advice, like someone to actually listen to you and be like, okay, this is me. This is my voice. What can I do? What do I have to work on? How can I make this better? And how do I solve this problem? Or how can I take it to the next level? And that's what you can get in the online singing school if you take advantage of our monthly group coaching sessions, which happen every first Wednesday of the month. So tomorrow is one, for example. And I'm there. It's with me. And you can send me video clips, and I can critique them even if you're not there live. And number two, you're going to have a community where you can post, and there are tons of other singers who can chime in, and you could just share your journey with there. So it's more than just another course. That's why it's called the Online Singing School, because it is literally a place where you can learn how to sing with more personalized advice. Okay, so the link is masteryourvoice.tv/OSS. And that's that for that. And now I'm going to go ahead and look at your questions. Illuminati, like that name too. Where can I learn singing online? Would you like to share some online platform where I can learn to sing? Oh, I didn't read your question ahead of time, but what I just said, try it out. You could do a monthly subscription. You can pay monthly or for an entire year. But if you pay monthly, there's no long time commitment. You can, on a month-to-month basis, you can cancel any time. Oh, I just wanted to say that. So it's not a long-term commitment. You can just stay as long as you wish. And of course, I hope that everyone stays around for longer. And we're creating an app right now just for the online singing school so that everyone can just on mobile have everything available and get notifications when there's something happening in the community and all that stuff. Okay, John, you helped me a lot lately, especially about compression and keeping the tank connected. You mean the phrasing and the airflow? Yes. Well, that's awesome to hear. Thank you so much for your feedback, John. I'm always grateful for feedback. I'm also grateful for constructive criticism, even in our programs. I always want to listen. And I think this is a little bit what sets me apart from some others, is because I don't want to just throw out a course, create a bunch of ads, and then just be all neutral. I do like to have personal touch points and contact. Now in the online singing school, we have maybe 130 or so members right now. So I can't literally like answer everyone. In the community, it's not about me being there, but it's really about everyone else interacting. But the monthly group coaching, that's so much more than just throwing information at you. To unlock the mask. So, okay. When you say unlock the mask, and I want to say this one more time for everyone who joined late, there is a link in the description box. When you click on that link, and if you would like to join me live, like on video, to where I can see you and you can see me, like you can see me now, but I cannot see you, to where you can actually talk to me, go to that link, fill out a few questions, and then you will be sent the link to join me right here live. Okay, let me talk about the mask. Maybe, AKA, I don't know how you say it, AKA, is that an L? No, Jumpy. If you want to join me here live on video, you can, but let me try to talk a little bit about the mask. So the mask, I recently have started using kind of an image of like a size of a mask, because I feel like to explain the difference between pop and classical singing, I feel like the mask has a different shape and a different size. So the mask, just imagine you were putting on a mask, right? Usually the mask is kind of like right around your face. Some masks are covering all of your face, and some masks, generally, they're always covering like your eyes, right? So you want to have that image of resonance, like sending sound waves somewhere. And in order to guide the sound waves that your vocal cords create, you have to create certain shapes, right? So for example, when your lips are closed, the sound waves can't actually freely come out of your mouth because you're closing that up. So they can really just kind of go, resonate inside of your mouth and in the bone structure and in your nasal cavity. Nasal sound is not anything negative per se, but that's what we call the mask. It's all those resonating chambers that you have available to you, where you can send the sound waves by making specific shapes. And the shape is made by, your lips shaping things, your tongue contributing to the overall shape. And that is the tip of your tongue, the middle, all the way to the back. You can make all these different shapes. You can either, bulge up your tongue or have it way down and have kind of this groove. You can make all these different shapes, and then your soft palate further in the back, it's where the uvula is attached. And a little further back, which you cannot see from the outside, is your pharyngeal space, which we call the throat. And then your larynx also has something to do with. So all of this results in the sound waves going to specific places. So what you want, ideally, and that's why we call it the mask, we want it to be everywhere as much as possible and not to stop in the throat. You've heard that term, it sounds throaty, which means it doesn't have the brilliant overtones which are created by all those, the sound waves resonating in those chambers, like your nasal cavity and, your sinuses, and all the way into your forehead, the bones, they can resonate along. And that's why we call singing to the mask. Now, how do you unlock this? Easy. Easy, but not easy. Learn how shaping specific shapes has an influence on the sound. So I just had a student in my opera class this past month, and we've worked so much on all the vowels. So we've been working on just making a really good ah, and then an aw, and then an ooh. And what is the distinction between them? And an e, to where it's not, so I'm pulling it down. The sound can't go up. I'm kind of stopping it here. That's why we call forward placement. We want the sound to come out and forward. And so creating those shapes, and you access those shapes by really listening for a good sound of the vowels. That is your key to kind of determining, is that a mask resonance there? You can hear it. You can hear the difference. And the thing is, if you sing into the mask, you have to work less hard with your vocal cords because it's almost like all this amplifies the volume. It's like, hello, because you have a larger space versus just your tiny vocal cords. They actually aren't that loud, but the resonating chambers and the bony structures that resonate along, that amplifies your sound. So really access this through the vowels and how shaping different shapes affects the vowels. Try the ah, tweak it. Is it oh, or is it ah, which has more nasal sound? Ah. So that's how you access that. Oh, John says there are no pedagogues near me, so I value your videos. Oh, that's awesome. You may want to consider joining the online school because then I can give you personal feedback. No one here to actually want to join me live on video. That would be really cool. Let me see. I'm going to check. I asked my assistant maybe if she could just check. Yes. Wait a minute. There we go. No, that's not it. Okay. So, yeah, it'd be cool. Come on. Who is brave enough to join me live on video? It would be really cool if I could talk to someone here. I mean, I'm giving you the opportunity. And then Christoph was also here. Christoph is a long-time student. Not just online singing school, but he's also in the Vocal Mastery Lab. So kind of become a friend already. Tree Fan says, I'm doing it this moment, the 1 month opera class with you. Oh, who are you? Oh, Anna. You are Anya. Yes. And we worked, you're the Tree Fan. I like that name. So yes, we are still working on resonance and bringing the vowels forward so they're not too dark and pulled backward, but they're kind of coming out. We want the sound waves to come out and not to be swallowed up. Always a good thing. Boob Favor Power. Hi, welcome. AKA Jumpy. You're very welcome. Does flaring your nostrils activate the throat muscles or help give headspace? I don't know. I don't think so. Let's see. I can actually voluntarily move my nostrils. It's a weird thing. I know some people can do it and some can't. Some can move their ear or one eyebrow. I can't do that. So, but that I don't think the nostrils have much effect. It's a tiny part and it doesn't really open up large spaces. So let's see. Yeah. It has zero effect on my sound. And so because the nostrils don't have anything, it's really largely what happens inside of your mouth and your throat. You know this. That has the hugest effect, especially on the quality, like how much nasal resonance is in the tone, which nasal resonance isn't anything negative per se. I said that before. There are nasal sounds like an N or an M. Those are nasal sounds, but we can make them 100% nasal resonance, or we can mix in other resonance to where it does ring more in the mask and not only. Really, nasal resonance isn't really just nasal resonance. What it is it's a closed up space entirely. Basically, it can only move through your nose and it doesn't go anywhere else. Oh, you're not allowed to make sounds until 4 p.m. I don't know where you're located, but I guess it's not 4 p.m. for you. Yes, I mean, good morning from Colombia. Wow. Welcome, Mundo Lirico. That's nice. Um, Again, saying that for everyone. There's a link in the description box. If you click that link and fill out the questionnaire, you can join me here live. I will send you the link to join me on video, like to jump on a video call with me. Like everyone always wants coaching, and like I'm giving everyone the opportunity. It's kind of like what happens in the online singing school. There's a lot of opportunity, but it's always the same people who show up to the group coaching sessions and who actually send in videos to be coached. I know it's singing is very personal. Oh, you're from Italy, so we're in the same time zone. I am in Germany currently. Not forever though, because I have plans to move away from Germany in the next couple of years. I'm working on that. And I will talk more about this entire plan all that at another time when we're getting a little closer. I'm still kind of planning out a lot of things. Okay, any other questions about singing? This is why we're here. I want to help as many singers as possible. It doesn't matter what level you are, whether you're more of a beginner, intermediate, or maybe a hobby, or like I would call it semi-professional if you do performances. Excuse me, I just got through drinking a bunch of stuff. Performances, whether, like Christoph here, he is part of a company, which is more hobby, but I would almost call it semi-professional because the difference between just 100% hobby and semi-professional is that someone who's only a hobby singer, they may sing with a choir, but they're not part of any big projects or performances. But it doesn't matter what level you are. Face purple crying. Yes. I think, what did I want to say just now? Yeah, no matter what level you are, I feel like it's always important to revisit the basics. That's why I have my course, Back to Basics, which is included in the online singing school. But it's so important to always revisit because this is my experience whenever something goes wrong in my singing. When I was pregnant, that's when I really started appreciating how much my support has to do with controlling my voice and being able to do, like the agility, the high pitches for the subglottal compression. I felt how important it is. When I was pregnant, especially with the twins, I remember when I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, I had this Handel concert. I think it was only like a month before I gave birth. So huge belly. And I sang Rejoice Greatly from the Messiah. So it has all these melismas, these coloraturas in there. And when you're pregnant, your ab muscles kind of separate. Where is the belly going to go, right? So the muscles kind of get out of the way and they separate, which is horrible. And then after you give birth, it feels literally like everything's like your organs are falling out to the outside because your muscles are just not, it does take a while. And my support, support is everything. It really gets the weight off your vocal cords and it makes everything controllable. Just the pressure of the air, the evenness of the airstream. And then with the twins, I didn't have any performances. I cleared my calendar because I knew that twins have a tendency to come early. These didn't. I was pregnant one day shy of being 39 weeks. That was hard. But I remember it was all about my belly. That was the hardest. I felt literally even sitting up was because I had no muscles. They were way over here. So much separation between those abdominal muscles, and it made singing really a challenge. And that showed me how much I need to appreciate support and having those muscles in place. Okay, let me read your comments here. Have you any tips on using less breath, meaning losing less air? Yes. So it all has to doing SOVT exercises, I think, is really awesome. Like semi-occluded vocal tract. So anything where you create a barrier that doesn't allow too much air to be blown out, so that you develop an awareness that you don't need that much air, that actually it's your support muscles holding on to the air and deciding how much you're pushing outward. Examples for that could be like blowing through a straw into water. I think into water is good because, number one, as the bubbles are happening, you can gauge if your breath is even, because if the bubbles kind of are very continuously the same, then you know you have an even stream of breath. And if they vary a lot, then you know you don't have an even stream of breath. You could also just use a straw. And yes, there are devices out there. They're literally for singers now. People make money off of anything. And you can kind of, I don't know, you can close it or open it more, and then you can kind of control how much air is going to go through. But what you can do, you could just regular plastic or paper straw. I don't know. In Europe, there's no more plastic straws anywhere where you go. It's only paper, and it's kind of nasty because they dissolve, when they get wet. Not good. But you could just pinch the straw to where it's not completely shut, but you get the picture. Just, you can control how much air is going to go flow through. And as this is a pen, it's not a straw, but I'm just demonstrating. As you blow through and as you vocalize, you will notice that because there's this barrier and you don't have this wide open, opening where you can push out air, which you do have when you do like an you could just exhale without any sound, right? And it would, but having that as a barrier, like a straw, you could also do a nasal sound like an M or an N. Those are all semi-occluded vocal tract, which means semi-occluded meaning you're not putting too much pressure on there. And do exercises like that. What you have to become aware of is that it is your support muscles that control how much air you're pushing outward, and to push at a slower pace. You can, even when you have loose vocal cord closure, you could still have good support and not push out a lot of air. So even when I'm singing breathy, I might not need to use a lot of air. So I could sing breathy and lose the air. But I also could sing breathy and hold on to more air because my support muscles control that. So I can sing much longer phrases and still be breathy, but I'm not pushing out too much because I'm controlling that with my support muscles. I hope that helps you a little bit. Slow D men. Why this generation not loving Michael Jackson music anymore? I love Michael Jackson. My daughter loves Michael Jackson. She's 11, turning 12 soon. So maybe it's not as front of mind anymore because Michael Jackson is not alive anymore and he doesn't perform anymore. He doesn't have tours anymore. But Michael Jackson's still an icon. And he was not just a great singer. He was the entire package. He was the composer of the songs. He had a lot to do with the arrangements and the productions and the sounds that you hear. Not even speaking of the shows and the dancing and the choreography and the entire spectacle. Unfortunately, I never got to see Michael Jackson live, but I have watched recordings of his concerts, and absolutely amazing. I love it when a singer is not just a singer, but an overall artist. It seems like there are less people nowadays who do everything, like the singing, the dancing, the show, and the composing, and everything, and the playing of the instruments. Okay. Yes. It seems important to judge the correct breath for the phrase. Very important. It's important to prepare accordingly. If you have a long phrase coming up, you have to prepare differently than just a really short phrase. Your breath is always according to what's to come. It's easy to drop your connection to support. Definitely. Definitely. It's very easy just to even disrupt the connection throughout the phrase. It's easy to kind of like lose that. And I always say, when you're singing a phrase where there's like a high pitch, don't aim for the high pitch. Aim for the pitch after the high pitch so that you don't lose suddenly. Usually it's like losing that connection and that control. You want to aim for the one after the high pitch. That is not true. Actually, lung capacity has nothing to do with how long someone can hold a breath. Just think about like this. Your lung capacity is always in proportion to your physical size and your vocal cords. So if you're a really big person and you have bigger lungs, you also have bigger vocal cords. So it doesn't really matter too much. It's almost like, I don't know. It's like saying you can't support as much just because you're smaller and therefore your muscles are overall smaller. And therefore you can't have strong ab muscles and do 1,000 sit-ups. Someone who's really tiny and small could do 1,000 sit-ups. And it's all in proportion to your own weight, right? Or pull-ups even. So that is not true. You could not have huge lung. I mean, a healthy person. You don't need a huge lung capacity. A healthy person can sing through any phrase that a human being could sing through. If anyone else has done it, you could do it. That's just physics. Okay, Helen. Hi, Helen. Welcome. I don't know if I'm saying these names right. Booby Favor Power. Kind of find it difficult to sing less chesty. For example, when singing All of Me by John Legend, I tend to sing too chesty and I end up having tensions in my voice. Is that all right? Okay, I can't. Why can't you join me live? Chesty. Do you mean throaty? Because you will probably be using chest voice. You could be using head voice / falsetto on the high end, like, I give you all of me. And then you're back in chest voice. I'm assuming you mean throaty, which has a lot to do with resonance. If you push a lot and you don't have openness and have, singing into your mask, what we just talked about, it may sound narrow and pushed and throaty. How can you sing A4 without flipping from mixed voice? So A4, assuming you are, can I even say that anymore? Can I, I'm gonna get on a tangent here. I'm assuming you have a male voice, which, oh my goodness. I just recently, last week, I published a video about Nemo, who won the Eurovision Song Contest. And you know what? Here's the thing. I had no idea who Nemo was. I just know this person represented Switzerland and won the contest. So I watched the songs, I reacted to it, the song, the code, and I reacted to it. Amazing performance, really, really cool, like with that platform. And then more than 200 comments. It's not a he, it's a they, non-binary. Which, if a person is non-binary, I had no idea what even non-binary is. And I apologize to anyone. It's like, I don't want to offend anyone, and I don't even care. I have no judgment against anyone who identifies as anything they want to identify as. When I watched this person, that was a male voice to me and a male person. It's just what I see and it's what I hear. And I can't look into someone's heart and philosophy and how they feel. That's not what I see. What I see is what my experience tells me from the outside. Okay, this is a guy. He may be in a male body, but he identifies as a non-binary, which I don't know what is non-binary. It's not male or female. As far as I know, is it still true that when a baby is born, it's either male or female, according to what you see? There is a slight difference. You could see it right away. You could see it in an ultrasound. And when you do like a gender reveal or you find out the gender of the baby, usually it's like either boy or girl. Or maybe it's not like that anymore. Maybe now they say, I don't know, what would they say? The baby's not born and they're like, it has part A or part B, what we see. Let's not get on a tangent, but it was just, let's just say it was very interesting. And I have no judgment at all. I'm not I'm the least political person you could ever imagine. I'm so not political. I have opinions, moral opinions, but I'm not political. I do vote, but I'm not political. How to sing A4 without flipping? So mixed voice is not a register. What is happening to you is you're flipping from chest voice to head voice. I wish you could go just jump on live with me and so where I could hear you. It's really hard. I have mix is only the balance between the two registers. Mix is not a register of its own. Okay. So you could either go na 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 no, and then you have this very extreme shift, and that's when you break. No. See how that flips? Really very much. It's very obvious. It flips. So the way you can counteract that, you have to come at it from both sides. You have to lighten up your chest voice and you have to lighten up your head voice when you connect the two. Does that make sense? And that's what we call the mix, is when you lighten up on both sides to not put too much weight against it. And I have videos about that. It's a very deep topic to talk about the mix and the laryngeal tilt that happens as you transition registers. These are the two main registers. There's another really quite a rough, change between your head voice and your whistle register, because your whistle register needs so much more lightness. But you have to lighten up from both ends and connect. And the first thing you need to do is tons of exercises with transitions. So what a lot of coaches show is just lighten up like this. Yeah. Which, yes, then it's really easy to transition when you sing lightly. Like, fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. It's really easy to transition for everyone when you're light. But what happens when you go, I'm gonna swing from the chandelier? Well, that actually it does require you to actually change. But it's like, I don't care what they're going to say. Let the storm rage on. So what if you don't want to flip into head voice, but you just want to sing high and still sound like you're chesty and in, full chest voice, but you can't be because it would be pulling your chest voice fully, which then would make it way too heavy. Then that exercise doesn't work so much anymore. Then you really have to do exercises, and I like to do that. Sing chest voice, and then as you are on the pitch, transition and try to anticipate it. So here's what happens when I'm just kind of flipping. Oh, see how that is all over the place. What if I'm a little more careful and I'm really anticipating and I'm not quite as heavy without really taking down the volume too much? See, now I'm changing back and forth between registers. And I think this is really helpful to kind of feel like, what does that laryngeal tilt feel like? And to control it without, to where you time it perfectly. I think that is really helpful in understanding the mix and the balance between the two. Oh, why doesn't anyone want to jump on the live call with me? Let's see. Did I get any? No emails. Because I get an email notification if someone does request this. The link is in the description box. Can someone let me know if you can see the link in the description box even? It should be there. I put it there earlier. Oh, in Girl on Fire, I think she's in full chest voice. This girl is on fire. You mean this one? This girl is on fire. I don't know even. I mean, I know the song, but it's not like I know it that well. But she definitely is in chest. She's intense. She's belting it. And it's not really that extremely high. You have to change it. If it's not in your vocal range, you're going to have to maybe change the key. You can never translate another singer's key into your voice 100% unless you have a very, very, very similar voice type and the same amount of training. Because your training level has a lot to do with like how high, especially on the high end, how high you can go. It can be trained. You can train quite a bit on the top end. Christoph says, for a long time, I was not able to connect head and chest voice when doing straw exercises. Only recently I understood how it is connected with too much pressure from my support. Yeah, in your case, it's too much pressure from the support, which then again, it's this issue of putting too much weight on the vocal cords. You want to minimize the weight. So the subglottal compression is important but what you don't want is the subglottal compression that is created only because your vocal cords are very tight and you're pushing against them very hard. You want to use that compression in order to not push against. You don't want to push outward too much. You want to have that pressure below, not by creating it against the vocal cords. I hope that makes sense. How to sing notes like E flat 5 with a mix flavor. Again, I wish you could it so depends on the song, how you're going to navigate through that song. Like what comes before, what comes after. You have to decide how light can I be in the song, or how intense do I want to be in that song? Like This Girl is on Fire. It's literally, or like Aretha Franklin, think of something like Think, or, like anything that is really loud and intense. You're going to need a lot of weight against that. And you wouldn't sing it in that like very, very high. It's all relative how high is, like high is all relative. Like for me, I can sing a C5 very easily in chest voice. So I don't have to be heavy there. But someone else may only be able to do that like by literally pulling chest voice up, which then isn't healthy. So you would then have to transpose it down a bit. Okay, let's see. Oh, I can stay a couple more minutes. It's been almost 45 minutes. I mean, I hate the chose wannabe singers just can't without autotune over the king of pop. Yeah, that's true. He didn't, as far as I know, I never heard autotune on Michael Jackson because he was dead on. He had so many years under his belt as a child already. I mean, he was like really, and back then when he started, there was no such thing as autotune. So he really from the ground up built everything. Just, how did I say that? It's all analog. What he did was all analog. Yep, it's a bit weird request, but please can you sing Michael Jackson's Fall again? What do you mean? How do you bring the voice toward the mask? Oh, I did talk about that in the beginning. Okay, go back after this live, go back further toward the beginning. I did talk about the mask, how to sing into your mask, and I explained what the mask is and all that. It gets confusing. Yeah. It's the new trend for people. Maybe I don't like the sound of autotune. I think it takes out the character of the voice. Like really, it's itching. My eye's itching here. It really takes out the character. It just takes away a lot of the humanness. Oh. Well, number one, how does Michael Jackson sing so good while dancing? Number one, lots of practice. Number two, he was in shape, which means, it's like some people can run a marathon and survive this, and some people can't even run a mile. It all has to do with stamina. So he had stamina on the dancing side and on the singing side. So you put that together, you can do it. So lots and lots of stamina through years of practice, which then means you have good control over your support muscles and, you do it in a smart way. I think that I find my mixed voice, but it's difficult. Oh, dog would bark, of course. Try my best to work the high C4 beyond. If I made it relax and like sound going inside the throat and like noise, I can still sing till 4. Range is something you have to consistently work toward. It's not anything that happens overnight. You have to train the muscles. At the same time, you have to focus on, singing through your entire range. Your bottom will also benefit your top and vice versa. You don't want to neglect any register or any end of your voice. Yodeling is pretty much just a really intentional flip between head and chest register. Ha la la, ha la la. So it's an intentional, very, very obvious flip. That's yodeling. And you do it very fast. I'm in Germany, but I'm not a yodeler. The link is there. Okay, well, everyone was just not brave enough today. Maybe next time we can do this. Maybe I'll find someone who's brave enough. Oh my goodness. Everyone's like, oh, please help me. I want to be a good singer. And then I understand that, like being on the spot it's hard. And then also maybe you're not in a situation or surroundings where you can actually sing. But maybe next time. I will probably next week I'll be live again, and then we can maybe try this again. How often and how long are these live Q&As? I can't tell you definite right now. Like I will try to schedule them a couple days ahead of time so that you can see it if you're subscribed to my channel, then you will see it in your YouTube homepage, and then you can see when I'm going live again. This one I scheduled yesterday, and so you could see it starting yesterday that it's going to happen today. But I'm going to try to do this a few days ahead of time so that you can prepare and maybe have something prepared or be in a setting where you can even sing. How often, I've read that already. Okay. Oh, so many questions. I need to really get off here because I got a couple more things to do. Do you think modern pop requires you to be that great of a singer these days? Singers sound kind of lazy to me. Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. I think nowadays there are some singers who their trademark is amazing singing. I mean, like Morissette Amon, for example. For example, there are some singers, or even Lauren Allwood, Never Enough. That's not easy singing. That's not laid back. That's high range, lots of stuff. And then there's things like Billie Eilish. Her thing, and it's very smart. It's about the color of the voice. There's a lot of, nowadays, I think what young people love is actually a lot of emotion, a lot of breathy, soft, almost whispered kind of singing. Very like this, it's like, I can sing like this. And it's just a style. I wouldn't even judge that the singer who can belt high is a better singer than the one who is more on the side of, even Bob Dylan. We could argue like from a craft kind of point of view, like singing is a craft also. Maybe not as or maybe not as difficult vocally, from a technique standpoint. But it's not just that. It's about the entire package. I just don't think, I don't want to judge that. Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim. Never heard of it. Let me write that down. Tiny Tim. I'm always looking for singers to react to. And by the way, I did want to do this in the future to where I'm on live and I can actually react as everyone's here, and we could kind of talk. I could see your comments too. We could do that maybe next time, and then I can pull it up and share the screen and have this and react live. I figured out that I could do that. Okay. It's all a matter of taste, Slow Demon. It is all a matter of taste. You know like the Latin saying goes, de gustibus non est disputandum. You can't argue about taste, especially when it comes to music and food and beauty. It's all in the eye of the beholder, or in this case, in the ear of the listener. Okay, I have got to get off here, but thank you everyone so much. Oh, it's like in boo. Boobe favor. Am I saying that right now? Boobe favor power. Okay, now I know. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Tiptoe through the tulips. Okay, I'm going to look at this. Thanks for the suggestion. Okay, everyone. I was just trying to scroll and make sure I'm not forgetting anyone. Thanks, everyone. You have an amazing day, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye, and maybe I'll see you in the online singing school. Bye now.